Hey, what's up? This is Jbat, and today I'll be doing a review for the graphic novel Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And it is the follow-up to Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, which were both written by Frank Miller. This time he was joined by his former wife, Lynn Varley. Now this story wasn't really good. I didn't really enjoy it at all. I thought it was okay, but at times it was like just so like confusing and kind of like kind of like sloppy to a certain extent. So I thought it was okay. So this will be my review for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Hey, what's up? It's me, Jbat, and today I'll be doing a review for the graphic novel Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Now this is like a follow-up to the original version, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Now both of these were written by Frank Miller. You know what I'm saying? But the second one, this version right here, the second volume of, the second, the follow-up to that story was written by Frank Miller and his wife, well, former wife, Lynn Varley. And this is released in over 3 issues in the year 2001 to 2002. Because as you can see, I have like both of them. This is the Dark Knight, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, and then this is The Dark Knight Strikes Again. So yeah, this will be my review for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Now, I didn't like Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. I thought it was okay. And at times you didn't know what was going on. I wouldn't recommend reading this one at all. Unless you wanted to read like a follow-up to Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, or if you're just interested in reading further, like Frank Miller, like graphic novels or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was okay. At times you didn't know what was going on. I thought it was kind of sloppy, even like the artwork wasn't that hot. But it was like certain things about the artwork that were kind of cool, like some of the woman images, like of the women's, like you know what I'm saying, like some of those were like hot, kind of made you hot, a lot of those were kind of like sexy, they had like some sexy images, let's say like Wonder Woman or certain other ones, especially Catgirl, like Carrie Kelly, I touched on that too. But in this tale, it's been like 3 years since the incidents of The Dark Knight Returns. Batman, it's been 3 years since what happened in that tale. And it also opens with a crime blotter by Vicky Vale again. That was in, I think it was it was also in Batman Year One, she did one. And I think it was in Batman The Dark Knight Returns too, if I'm not mistaken, the crime blotter. But in this tale, you have Carrie Kelly, she's no longer the girl Robin. She has become a cat girl now, and she looks sexy too. And she looks better. Like her facial images, she actually looks better than she did in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. But at the same time, the whole tale is still kind of like convoluted and stuff. It's like you really don't know what's going on. It seems like the whole thing is like basically like a virtual simulation. It's kind of hard to explain it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of and Superman, he's in it like a lot too. He has like a strong like presence, like a large role in it. Too. But yeah, it opens with like Catgirl like in a virtual simulation. You know what I'm saying? At this place called Palmer Laboratories. And there's like a conflict or whatever. Then it jumps to like like another scene with like Batman. And like I'm saying, and he's bald now. Bruce Wayne is like bald headed now, and he has like these like allies called Bat Boys, and they are former criminals that he has turned into allies, and they dress like him and have his like gadgets and stuff, and they're known as the Bat Boys. So I thought they were kind of cool. But overall, I really just didn't really like it. Now I done read it like 2 times. I done read it like 2 times. And the first time I read, I thought it seemed like it was kind of okay, but as I read it again, it's like I really, what I'm saying, I really didn't like it. It's nowhere near as good as Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, which is also written by Frank Miller. It's like nowhere near as good as that. There's like a couple of like showdowns and stuff in the tale, but it's like at the same time you don't know what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? Superman has like a battle with like this giant like robot alien thing. You know what I'm saying? And the news, they have like the news stuff going on again too. The president, it's no longer President Reagan. It's like a new president, and it's like supposedly like a computer simulation. He's almost like a hologram or something. He's not really real. But like various heroes from the DC universe makes appearances. You have like a Green Arrow. He's in it kind of a lot. He has like some cool scenes. The Flash kind of is in it, you know, but his costume is black, you know. Green Lantern shows up too, you know. Shazam or Captain Marvel, they're all in this tale too, you know, and like other various characters too. And Wonder Woman, she's actually Superman's lover, and they have a daughter called Lara. So and I thought she kind of looked sexy too, like the way she was drawn. She looked kind of very sexy, you know, like a sexy image for a woman. You know what I'm saying? There's also a sequence with Batman and Catgirl. You know, I told you that's Carrie Kelly. She has like a fight sequence, and she has like this gadget where she was shooting like batarangs out of hand, like multiple batarangs. I thought that was kind of cool the way they did that, you know. But still, at times, you know, other characters show up, like Jim Gordon. He shows up, and there's also like a little funny sequence. It's not really funny, but Commissioner Ellen Yindel, you know, she replaced Gordon in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns when he retired at the age of 70. Now, in this, she resigns, you know. Kind of towards like the end of it, she resigns because of like a full-scale military response that they have an issue, so it causes her to, you know, resign from being like the commissioner of Gotham City, you know. There's also like a Joker type enemy in this tale too, you know. That was kind of okay, you know, but it still seems like, you know, like the whole thing is like a virtual simulation, like it's not really happening, you know what I'm saying? And Batman has like a kind of like a slight little thing going on with him and Superman, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Even Robin, Dick Grayson, kind of shows up towards the end, and he's kind of like the villain now, but it's like kind of like short, just like a little, it's not really that big of a thing. He's like, he looks younger and stuff but like I thought that, you know. But I still be like the artwork and like the writing and all that was kind of like sloppy and kind of like off pace, you know. It's nowhere, and you know what I'm saying? It has all the panels and stuff like the Dark Knight Returns, like there's so many panels, a lot to read, which I like, you know, I like to read a lot, so I like all like the scripted, you know, words and stuff they have, but it's still just, you know, I didn't really like enjoy it too much, you know. I wouldn't recommend reading this out. And Lex Luthor is kind of like the villain of the piece, and Superman is supposedly working for him now. I'm saying Lex Luthor is actually running the world, and Superman, I think, kind of is working for him, you know. Now they have some like cool sequences with Superman and his daughter Lara, you know, because he had her with Wonder Woman, you know, and I thought that was kind of, you know, okay or whatever. But yeah, Carrie Kelly, I thought they did a better job of her. She looks like sexy and appealing, you know. She kind of makes you hot, you know what I'm saying? And her face, it looks like better. I know she kind of had like her nose was kind of off in Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, the way they drew her or whatever. I think it was Frank Miller that drew that. But in this one, I'm saying like her nose is kind of, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like all saying like, it looks better, she looks more, and she's older, she's like 3 years older now, so, you know, and there's like other things in this tale too, like Jimmy Olsen, you know, like from Superman, I think he's like what, the news reporter, whatever, he's in here, and he's like old, and he's always talking about heroes, how we needed them and all that kind of stuff like that, so it's kind of, I'm saying it's kind of, that was kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying, but other than that, it was kind of, I want to recommend this. So yeah, this is my review for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And this is written by Frank Miller, who also wrote the Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, you know, which was good. Now that one was good. And they even had a film adaptation of that, which was told in 2 films, like part 1 and part 2, and those were good. But this right here was like the follow-up to that, and it's 3 years after that. And I really would not recommend reading this unless you just want to see and curious about what happened with Bruce Wayne after all that, you know, after Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. And plus, if you're just interested in me reading more Frank Miller, you know. But I wouldn't recommend, not even for like Batman fans, I wouldn't recommend this. Now, if you're probably like the Justice League and stuff like that, you probably could kind of get into it because they're all over this. At times, you don't even really see that much Batman. It seems like at times it is about the Justice League to a certain extent, because you see like the various DC heroes in here a lot, you know. But obviously Superman is really, you know, like the main one. If they're not focusing on Batman, it's like Superman, you know. But yeah, this is my review for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And I didn't enjoy this. I thought it was okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not the worst graphic novel I read, you know. I thought it was okay. And this is Jbat. Alright. As you can see, this is Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again graphic novel. You know, Frank Miller wrote this tale along with Lynn Varley, and this was actually, it takes place 3 years after Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. It also has almost the same similar title, as you can see. It's called Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. and it has like various images from out the book in it. Now this was okay. I didn't really like this one that much. I didn't really enjoy it at all. It was okay. But I'm basically gonna give like a look of the graphic novel itself. Just a couple of like shots of it, the book, how I looked at it and stuff. There are some images right there of the Bat Boys, which are like former criminals that Batman has recruited to be his allies. Okay. And these are like various images throughout the novel. I mean, out the graphic novel itself. And the artwork in it was okay. I thought it was okay. Now the look of certain like characters in it was pretty good though. I liked it. Carrie, she returns as a cat girl in this graphic novel, and I thought she looked sexy and stuff. Like some of the images of her were kind of like sexy. Yeah, and one bonus point of it, the woman in the graphic tale, they were hot looking. I thought they were sexy. That they'll make you hot. Not to sound too adult. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is basically like the graphic novel, and there was lots of Superman action in this tale too as well. But I thought this was okay. It wasn't really good. I wouldn't recommend it. If you wanted to see like a follow-up tale to Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, of course you should give it a shot. But other than that, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was okay. Okay, and this is Jbat. In the end, I thought this was okay. I wouldn't recommend it at all, not even for fans, Now, if you're like a Frank Miller fan, I guess you probably should give it a try then. But like, at times, the story was just like, you didn't know really what was going on, what it was about, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, I just didn't really enjoy it at all, And then at the times, you wonder what happened, because The Dark Knight Returns, the first one, it was actually pretty good, So yeah, this is my review for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again, and this is Jbat. All right.